calle Ayacucho, en mi tiempo de rana alquilaba, el bulín de la barra buscaba para caer por las noches sin ideal. El bulín donde tantos muchachos en su racha de vida pulera encontraron marroc y catrera, detonado parece llorar. El primus no me fallaba con su carga de aguardiente y habiendo agua caliente, el mate era sí señor. No faltaba la guitarra, bien encargada y lustrosa, ni el bacán de voz gangosa, con berretín de cantor.
Oh, really? Oh, thank you. Sorry, I heard that the screen was not being shared. Sorry, I'm gonna play it again. Okay. Are you guys seeing this now?
I see it.
Okay, great. Sorry. Sorry, I didn't. Can you hear the music?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Let's try this again. Ayacucho, que en mi tiempo de rana alquilaba, el bulín de la barra buscaba para caer por las noches sin ideal. El bulín donde tantos muchachos en su racha de vida pulera encontraron marroc y catrera, detonado parece llorar. El primus no me fallaba con su carga de aguardiente y habiendo agua caliente, el mate era sí señor. No faltaba la guitarra, bien encargada y lustrosa, ni el bacán de voz gangosa, con berretín de cantor. Okay, I'm starting this series. I started with Así se baila el tango last week with Castillo with Tanturi. Today, this song
is recorded by Troilo, Aníbal Troilo with Francisco Fiorentino. You can see the picture here. Troilo is the one on the right with the moño, with the bow tie, and then Fiorentino is with the necktie on the left. Aníbal Troilo and Francisco Fiorentino, this duo is considered one of the best tango duo in history of tango. Many dancers love dancing to them. They're one of the favorite of many milongueros. They together only recorded for 3 years, 4 years, but 60 songs. Many of them we hear all the time. Yesterday, I only played 11 songs of their repertoire mainly from 1941. But there are so many songs that I wanted to play, so I think I would have to do another version of the Bailongo De Los Domingos. What Troilo did with Fiorentino was to incorporate the singer into part of the orchestra. Before they started, there were singers in the tango orchestra, but they were only singing very, very short part of a tango. Troilo brought the singer into more forefront and sang a longer verse, and also incorporated into a very important part of tango. Now, since they are singing a longer part, they can tell more story. The meaning of tango has changed, even while maintaining to be danceable, but also there are more meaning, more story incorporated into the music. When they recorded this song, Troilo was 27 years old and Francisco Fiorentino was 36. Although we hear this music as a vintage music because it's from long time ago, from 1941. However, it's full of youthful energy because they were still very young. By the way, the Troilo was born in July 11th. That day is now a day of the bandoneon because he played bandoneon and he was known as one of the best. He was born in the barrio, the neighborhood of Abasto, and his nickname was Pichuco. He was named after his father's friend, who was also called Pichuco. Fiorentino was 9 years older than Troilo, and before he joined Troilo, he sang in many different orchestras. For example, Canalo. And he also played bandoneon. He had his own orchestra at some point as well. But his career reached its peak when he started singing with Troilo. Troilo and Fiorentino combo is the one that is most known today, but however, when Troilo wanted to hire a singer, actually he wanted to hire somebody else. But he didn't show up. The guy couldn't make it. And therefore, as a second thought, he hired Fiorentino. But look how it turned out. You never know what works. Fiorentino, at some point in his career, he learned sastrería, how to make gentlemen's clothes. And if you can see the picture, next one, you can see how well they are all dressed. Because after Troilo hired Fiorentino, not only he sang, but also he arranged so that all the orchestra can have a really nice suit. He arranged all the clothing for the band. And Troilo also later said Fiorentino taught them how to dress for high life very nicely as a tango band. Fiorentino was actually a not very good singer, meaning he didn't have a lot of volume. His voice was not particularly beautiful. His rhythm was not very good, but he knew how to tell a story. And you can hear that as you listen to the music. This song was written by Celedonio Flores, these poems, the lyrics. He wrote this in 1923. So when they recorded, when Troilo and Fiorentino recorded it, it was already a classic. It was an old song. Many different orchestra has already recorded this song. But now, as of today, when we hear El Bulín de la Calle Ayacucho, what we think of is the Troilo Fiorentino version. Celedonio Flores dedicated this song, I'm not sure if you can see this, al gran campeón argentino de peso mosca, Juan Rossi. Dedicated this song to a fly champion, the boxing champion, Argentine champion, Juan Rossi. Because Celedonio Flores also, when he was young, he also worked as he was a boxer for money. His lyrics, he came from a poor neighborhood, he focused on social issue, and he used lunfardo heavily. Lunfardo is Buenos Aires and this region's particular vocabulary and used more
Sort of a class on
lower
this
class.
one. Oops.
Can you? Yeah, thank you. His other work includes Corrientes y Esmeralda.
Bailaron guapo junto a tus ocheves, cuando un elegante los calzó de cruz y te dieron lustre las patotas breves, allá por el año 900.
Famous tango by Pugliese and Chanel. And Muchacho by D'Agostino Vargas, that I'm going to feature next Sunday.
Muchacho, que porque la suerte quiso, vivís en un primer piso.
I'm sure you've already recognized these songs. He also wrote many other famous lyrics as well. Lunfardo was under censorship between 1933 to 55 because the government establishment didn't like that the people used the word that they could not understand because they were slangs. But that way, people could communicate and express their roots, their identity. The tango has a lot of association with the lunfardo, but it was under censorship so much that some of his tango, Flores tango, couldn't be played, or sometimes he had to change his lyrics, where you can see here, the room where the gang would look for to gamble at night, because Bulín, barra, timbear, there are so many lunfardo included here. So the government changed his lyrics. Mi cuarto feliz que albergaba un romance, my happy little room where romance took refuge. Because the government didn't want him to talk about this low life because that's prohibited. It's against the establishment. The composer of this tango is a brother. It's Jose and Luis Servideo. They always compose together. We don't know which part who wrote because they always put the names together. And they were really good friends of Celedonio Flores from childhood. Going into the lyrics, I'm pointing, this one I forgot. I'm trying to put the color coding the lunfardos in orange so you can see which parts are not regular Spanish. El Bulín de la Calle Ayacucho, que en mis tiempos de rana alquilaba. The little room in Ayacucho Street that I used to rent when I was young. El Bulín que la barra buscaba, the room where the gang would look for. La barra is also another lunfardo. It's a team of people. Here we said gang. Those are the friends of Celedonio Flores. Para caer por la noche a timbear. Timbear means to gamble. To show up at night so they can gamble in that little room. What is this tango talking about? it's talking about this El Bulín de la Calle Ayacucho. In the Calle Ayacucho street, there was this little room. Bulín is also a lunfardo word for little, like it'll be a studio or a flat, a little room where people live. This is a story told by José Servideo, the composer of this tango. He said, "We used to meet every Friday at this cozy little room infested with mice. Gathered were Juan Bautista Fulginiti, the singer Francisco Martino, singer Paganini, Fernando Nunzieta, Skinny Sola, singer, guitar, strummer, and a privileged throat for liquor, and I. Chia always used to cook a stew. In the apartment, there was a frying pan and a morrocha pot. The owner was Julio Korn, who lent it to Ceredonio, the poet. There, we used to drink mate and chat a lot. But it was over when Negro Cele, de Ceredonio Flores, began dating in the late 1921. This tango is talking about their personal story of their youth, where they hung out in Ceredonio Flores, the poet's apartment. So they gamble, they talk, they spend time together. It's also about friendship of these bohemian artists, because many of them were singers, musicians. There is two theories where this apartment actually was located, because it's based on the real apartment that Ceredonio Flores lived. One of the theory is Ayacucho 1443 in the Coreta. You see this El Ateneo is a very famous bookstore. Near there, this is El Bulín del Calle Ayacucho. This is one of the theory. The other theory is Ayacucho 192, and it's like 2-3 blocks away from El Beso. Maybe if you go to Argentina, you can go there by yourself and imagine what used to happen in that location. Now that imagining that, El Bulín de Calle Ayacucho, the little room in Ayacucho Street that I used to rent when I was young, the room where the gang would look for to play dice and cards at night. Now you can start imagining the story of this tango. El Bulín donde tantos muchachos, the little room where so many young men, en su racha de vida fulera, in their streak of erratic life, encontraron Marroco y Catrera. This is another lunfardo. Marroco means pan, means bread. Here we translated it as food. Y Catrera means bed. Desolado parece llorar. Now desolated seems to cry. Because this tango was written in 1923 after all of these fun time has ended in 21. 2 years later, they're remembering how fun they used to have with friends. And now look at the room. Now it's empty. None of that fun thing is happening anymore. That's what they are talking about here. El primus no me fallaba con su carga de aguardiente. Here, they are talking about something interesting. El primus is this. There is a tango called Metere bomba al primus. Put the gasoline tank in the primus stove. Here you can see this tiny, tiny little portable stove where they would put the kettle to heat up the water. Primus was a brand of the stove that people used to use. And so here they're saying, because they probably didn't have a real kitchen, but they had this little portable stove because they were so poor. But because of the stove, then you could make hot water. Here, con su carga de aguardiente y habiendo agua caliente, obviously this is a rhyming of aguardiente and caliente, agua caliente, since there was hot water, el mate era allí señor. So there was always mate. I'm sure people know what mate is, this little tea that people have, no? And although it is, mate is an Argentinian thing, and it's many other South American country takes it. Many things that we don't know, we from other culture don't know, is that not all the Argentinians take mate. Mate is somehow associated with more poor working class. Mate helps you kill the hunger, and when you talk to certain people, oh, you take mate? It's like, no, I don't take mate. I take coffee or tea. I never knew that as a foreigner, but there are certain associations with that. So when you read tango and they talk about mate, many times there are association with the poverty. But you can imagine, even in this picture, there's a guy playing the guitar on the street, and then having mate, sharing mate, spending time together. Sort of in the essence of this tango. Here says, no faltaba la guitarra, the guitar was always there, bien encordada y lustrosa, well strung and shining. Ni el bacán de voz gangosa. Bacán is, here we just call it dandy. It's very hard to translate. Please look it up later to the meaning of this word. Bacán is a guy who apparently has lover, but here it really means a guy with this nasal voice, con un berretín de cantor. Berretín is like dreaming. So he's thinking to be a singer, hoping to be a singer, and then singing in this little room while the other friend is playing guitar. And I found this picture on internet, and I think it's a great picture depicting the story of this tango. A guy playing the guitar, and then the other guy playing having the mate in this tiny little room. Now I would like to play the song one more time, and then we can go into Q&A.
Calle Ayacucho, que en mi tiempo de rana alquilaba, el bulín de la barra buscaba para caer por las noches sin viaje. El bulín donde tantos muchachos en su racha de vida bulera encontraron marrón y catrera, de todos lados parece llorar. El primus no me fallaba con su carga de aguardiente y habiendo agua caliente, el mate era sí señor. No faltaba la guitarra bien encorvada y lustrosa, ni el bacán de voz gangosa con berretín de cantor.
can move on to the Q&A. From these pictures, can you tell which one is Troilo? This one is open mic. Please release your microphone and go ahead. First come, first serve. 5, very good. Do you know about the other ones maybe?
Yes. 2 is Piazzolla, 1 is...
Number 1? Lawrence, my favorite. He was one of the best also. 2 is Piazzolla. Good. Number 3?
God, I can't remember her name.
He's also another very good one. Eduardo Arolas, he was called Tigre, the tiger of bandoneon. He died in France. Number 4? This is Julian's favorite.
De Caro.
Siriaco Ortiz. Also
I thought it was the girl, no?
another very lyrical bandoneonist. Number 6, Paquita Bernardo. She was a very famous, also one of the best female bandoneon player of the time. Number 7, Pedro Mafia.
Pedro.
Moving on. Which one is Fiorentino?
Castillo. 1 is Castillo.
Good.
2 is, which one is
Number
it?
1 is Castillo, somebody said. Good. Number 2?
2 is...
Vargas.
Vargas.
Which I'm featuring next Sunday.
3 is Campos, no? Chanel.
Chanel. Number 5? Good job, Aldo.
Chagüe. Isn't it the Chagüe?
Rufino.
Oh my God, they all look similar.
Number 6 is a Chagüe.
Oh, that's a Chagüe, yes, yes.
There we go. Next question. What was the nickname, Apollo in
Pituco.
Spanish, of Troilo?
1.
Pichuco.
Oh, 3. 3.
Are you sure? This was a tricky question. The answer is Pichuco, after a nickname his father's friend. And Pituco was a lunfardo for rich kid that was used in Así se baila el tango, which I featured last week.
Yeah. Got you that.
Yeah. Okay, what do these words mean in English? Number 1.
Muchacho is a girl, right?
Oh, yeah. No, only if it was muchacha. Muchacha is muchacho, so it's a boy that.
Boy, yes, yes.
Boy.
Yes.
Boy, muchacho. Actually, there is a song called Muchacho by Agostino Vargas. Number 2, vida.
Knife.
Life, good job. There's a tango by Fresedo called Vida Mía. Number 3, tiempo.
Time.
Good job.
Yeah.
Time. La Milonga de Mis Tiempos is another famous one by Canaro. Calle.
Street.
Yes, that we all know. Good. Calle Ayacucho. Number 5, noche.
Night.
Good. This program that I'm doing right now is called Noche De Poesía.
You're giving Duolingo a run for their money.
Number 6, voz.
Voice.
Voice, good. Please be careful, English speakers, to not say voz. It's not Darienzo, it's Darienzo, because Z is pronounced as S, yeah? And it means voice. There is a milonga by Troilo called Con toda la voz que tengo, with all the voice that I have. Yeah? What does those verbs mean in English?
To cry, to
look.
search, and encontrar, to encounter.
There is a cry, llorar is cry. Llorar por una mujer is another tango by Rodriguez. Number 2, buscar.
Look for.
To look.
Look for, good, to look for. There's a tango by Fresedo called Buscándote, looking for you. Yeah? Encontrar.
Find.
Very good.
Encounter.
Encontramos, also encounter, also to meet. Nos encontramos al pasar is another song that I really love. And
We'll find our way.
passing, we see each other, we meet each other. Good job. I hope you guys enjoyed the session.
Very nice. Thank you.
Very much. Thank you, Ayano.
Thank you for doing this.
Good. So this Sunday, I will do another one where I play the music with the lyrics, or with D'Agostino and Vargas, another great golden duo. And then I will feature a song from that orchestra next Monday in this session.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Amazing, Ayano.
Thank you so much.
Miss you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Adios.
Thank you, Ayano, so much. It was wonderful. Thank you.
Adiós, muchachos.